Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
You are welcome to today's presentation. And then today, we'll basically be talking about the KOS key registration, which is very important. But on the whole, in fact, all that we have been discussing previously, you have been putting it into action. And then I must congratulate you. Your workshop productivity has increased. And based on that, we made some recommendations, and then you are going to receive an incentive that you have never received before. It's a confirmation from management. So clap for yourself. Give a clap for yourself. Yes. So as I'm saying, we are coming to talk about KOS key registration. And at the end of this presentation, I want each and every technician to know the different type of keys that MMC we use. We use different type of keys for the starting of our vehicles. So at the end of this presentation, each and every one, any key at all you see, you should be able to do what? To identify that particular key. And then at the end of the presentation, you should know how to register the KOS key, and what at the end of it, you have to know what is called the KOS. And then at the end too, you have to know how to register the remote as well. So this is the main presentation, or what we are coming to discuss today. And I'll please appeal to each and every one of you. Let us welcome ideas that will make this class very interesting. We are all the same. Of course, if you need something, you can ask, but except what? Money. Don't ask for money, because we all need money. Okay. So let us start with these. Now, what we are coming to talk about is what? The KOS key registration. KOS key registration. Now, as I'm saying, when we say KOS, what does it mean? When we say KOS, what does it mean? When we say KOS, what it means is what? Keyless operation system. Keyless operation system. So with MMC, we have different type of keys that we use. Now, we have what we call the KOS key, of which we are coming to discuss of it today. We have what we call the WCM key, and then we have the KOS key, which what? OSS. So we have these different type of keys. Now, you know what KOS means. Keyless operation system. And then when we say WCM, what does this WCM also means? So you know what WCM is, but how to deal with WCM, that will be in our subsequent slide or lectures. Because today we are only coming to talk about the KOS, keyless operation system. And then the WCM means wireless control module. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I can see, some of you understand all these things, and then it is very interesting. We need to learn ahead of time. We need to improve ourselves. Don't only rely on me. We are all learning. I learn from you, you also learn from me. That is how we live. The fact that I am the instructor doesn't mean that I know more than you. You also have an idea about some things. I also have an idea about something. So let all of us come together and then build a strong team, so that management will realize that no, we have a strong workforce. And if we are seeking for anything, for example, you might need a salary increase, you can contact me. But at the end of the day, they will look at how you perform before you do what? They check all these things out. So all these things are factors. So thank you very much. And then the KOS with OSS means one touch start system. So these are the three different type of keys that we use. So now let's go to what we will use these keys for. Because of course, everything I thought that we have has a function. In your department, if you're an electrician, you have a function to play. If you are a mechanic, you have a function to play. If you are a senior technician or master technician, you have a role to play. So all of us has a role to play in every aspect of our daily activities. So if you want to use this key has functions. And this key that we see, this is the type of the key. This is rather unfortunate we don't have the key in it, in the remote, so it's rather unfortunate. But you will see it from this simulation and then you understand what. So now, what we use this key to do is that with this key we can use it to lock and unlock our doors, and then we can even use it to open our trunk lid. So with a distance away, a specific distance away, you can use this key to do what? To open. And I hope you all know this, because day in and day out you have been starting the car, you have been using it. But the main objective of this is to know how to register these keys. That is the main important thing that we have to concentrate on. Because the reason why I did this, those in the night shift, when they came, there was a customer who was requesting for an additional key, and then they couldn't do it. They have to call me on phone so that I teach them the procedure. It took some time before they got it. So I thought it twice and I said, it is very important, not to a particular people, but all of you must understand how to do what? To do the registration of these keys. And I hope you appreciate it. So that is it. So now let's continue. Now, how does this key works? This key works. These are antennas here and here and here, and these antennas communicate with a sensor in this. They communicate with the sensor in this. So what happens is that with a particular distance, we have so many ways of communication. We use Bluetooth, infrared, any other. I wouldn't like to talk about that now, but we're visiting electronics. So these is where the sensors are positioned, and then when you are outside, you can communicate it with this, and I hope you know that. And then inside also, when the key is inside, we have 3 antennas here also that communicate. So this is how it is. And then we have a sensor on the door as well. So the problem here that we are coming to discuss is that how do we register these keys? And of course, this is very important. To register this key, what you need to get, for example, a customer came and he said, I need an additional key. One of my keys is missing. I need an additional key. So he requests for that. The only thing you can do, yes, the service advisor will tell you it is possible, we'll give you an additional key. But give us some time so that we can register. So if you want to register this key, for example, we have this key which is already registered, and then another key, customer need another key. So what you have to do is to go to the stores, purchase a new key that we see here. So this key is not registered. This key we see here is not registered. And of course we need to get our MUT, the VCI, and then the laptop. So we connect it together. So now, let's see how the registration operations follows. Now, when you want to register this key which is not registered, you know how to remove this key knob, because of course there is no key inside this slot. We have a slot here, and of which you all know this slot. For you not to break this, what you need to do is that there are locks which are here and here. You push that button locks and then you pull this out, and then it is going to remove, and then you see the key slot inside, and that is where we are going to insert our key to register. But what you need to understand is that when you purchase the new key, you need not to register only the new key, because when you register the new key, the old key information is what? Is gone. So whenever you want to register a new key, the first information that you need to do is ask the customer whether he has an additional key in the house, so that you bring it, you add it to the new one, and then you do what? You register it. Of course, if you don't ask, this customer will go. And the first thing you need to understand is that we need a very good customer satisfaction. That is the key thing that we need. We need to increase our sales, we need to increase our services, and we need to increase the purchase of our spare parts as well. That is the sole aim of we Mitsubishi. And as a dealer, this is our focus. So if you don't do it and the customer goes home and then he comes back and says, oh, I have an additional key, this key couldn't start my car, you know, he'll become angry. And you know the region that we are working is sometimes, excuse me to use this word, sometimes difficult for them to understand certain things. But because you fail to let the customer know, always customers are right in the business. Customers are right, whether wrong, they are right. I hope you understand. So when you get this key, you remove this. The next thing, you remove the key, you insert it into the slot, and then you put the remote on top of it. So you see here, we are inserting the key into the key slot. The next thing you do is that you take the remote, this remote, and you put it on top of the key. So in effect, you will see that the key is inside and the remote is on top of it like this. So let's continue. Now you connect your MUT. When you connect the MUT, notwithstanding, meaning not to forget one thing, before you go and then look for KOS and immobilizer to register the key, the first thing you have to do is you go into the system and erase all DTC, because if some DTCs are present, at the end of the day you are going to have a problem with your registration. So make sure you erase all DTCs in the system before you do what? You start with your registration. Now when you enter the car information and data, of which you all know, you go here, you come to the system list. When you come to the system list, you glance, you can see that you go through all these one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one, and you see KOS, immobilizer, and keyless. Click on it. When you click on it, this option will come. This loading option will come. What you see here, this. When you see this option there, now as I told you from the beginning, we have different type of keys. We have the WCM before we have the KOS. Now, to pay attention, we are registering which type of key? Which type of key are we registering?
Yes.
Good. We are registering the KOS type of key. So let's see what we are going to do. Now, you see here, at this side is immobilizer and KOS. The second one is what? Immobilizer and keyless. So what we are registering is what? The KOS and immobilizer, not the keyless. I hope you understand. So there is a difference. That is why I show you the difference between the KOS and then the WCM type of key. So you have to check this particular side here. So when you check this side or you click in this, you go to your enter, and you can see the enter down here. When you select the enter, what will happen? This will come. Now, it's the same thing that we do on the daily basis. You come here and you see self-diagnose. When you want, there is engine light on. That same place you come. That is the same thing that you are seeing here. So here, because we are not checking engine lights which is on, but what are you doing? We are doing a registration, key registration. Where do you have to go? It is a specific type of function that we are carrying. So what we need to do is that we go to special function, and of course this special function we see here, when you on your MUT, you see a special function. That is not the special function we are talking about here. We have two special functions. When you enter the system, that is when you are coming to see this special function. not the first special function that you enter. I hope you understand. So special function, and then KOS and key registration, and then you come a password. Every vehicle or every model has its own password, of which later I'll give to you, because this password has to be kept when you have a work before I can give it out to you. You enter the password. When you enter the password, you come, you click OK. You click OK, and then the key A is registry. When this is done, it will tell you executing. So you just watch here. Now, this is the most important thing that you need to think about. So if the first key has finished registering, it will tell you registration completed. So this is the information it is giving you. Now, if you are going to register an additional key, do not, and I repeat, do not click here. The moment you click here, then it means it is only the first key that you have registered. The second key, you cannot continue with the registration. So all you need to do is that you off your ignition, take that key out, take the new key, put it there on your ignition, and then when you do that, let's see what will happen. This is what I just talked about. You have now inserted the second key. Now that you have inserted the second key, the computer or the MUT understand. So when it finishes, now that you are finished with the registration of the second key, it is now that you will click on this OK. If you still have a third key to register, do not click this OK until you finish with what? All the registration of the keys. That is the most important thing that you have to do. This is most important. So you click the OK, and then you now execute. Now KOS key registration. Now when you finish, you have registered keys, 2 keys. So let's go back, and you see that when you register it is 1, another registration is 2. So now we have registered these 2 keys successfully. So now that we are finished with the registration of the keys, we have to register the remote as well. Now, how do you register this remote? When you press this OK, this is what you are going to see on your MUT screen. When you press this OK here, then what you need to do is, this is the remote. What you have to do is, you take it, you take this, and when you take this, what you have to do, you take the remote, you press the lock button what? 2 times. You press the lock button what? 2 times, and then the doors are going to do what? Respond. So now you have registered your remote key A, you take your remote key B, you do the same thing, and then you finish. You see that this side has also changed to what? To 2. So it means you have registered all these 2 keys successfully. This is very important. Interference in electronics is everywhere. So what you need to do when you are going to program or you are going to register these keys, never put the MUT on your laps, because there is going to be an interference between the remote and then the immobilizer, which can affect your registration. And then if you don't understand, you might be thinking it is a problem. But because you don't understand, so you keep the MUT a distance away, maybe the next seat, so that it wouldn't interfere with the communications that you are doing. So in a whole, this is how the registration is done. So now we have registered 2 keys successfully, and then the remote also successfully. I hope it is clear. So these 2 keys have been registered, and this is how it is done. But as I told you, with the password, this password we get it from MMC, Japan. So anytime you need to work on a car, I will see the possible cars that we always do this work, and then I will give you the passwords for these cars. So this is how the registration is done with the KOS type of key. So any question, please? Any question? If you have no question, then we will use the next 15 minutes so that we go down into the workshop and we are going to do a practice of this, so that I want you to practically understand what we are doing, because when you do something with your hands, always it is there. Because if you always know, some people, excuse me to use this, if you always have a blind man, he knows a direction, he knows where he's going. Even when he has money, he knows that with his touch of his hands, he will be able to identify the particular model. I hope you understand. So before I end, let me tell you one good story. This story is about two animals, and these two animals, one is called Mr. Rabbit, and one is also called what? Mr. Tortoise. Some people say tortoise. So we all know rabbit can run very fast, and tortoise can do what? Walk very slowly. So they have to go for a race. Because rabbit thought he can run very fast, he said, "Who are you? I can beat you. You cannot even challenge me." So they started the race. When they started the race, and they were going, rabbit was far gone. So he got a tree and he said, "Let me relax." So when he was relaxing, he fell asleep, and then tortoise was also on his journey slowly, and saw rabbit sleeping. Quickly, he got there before rabbit got there, and he did what? He won the race. Rabbit never understood. So what happened? The next another race, rabbit said there should be another race, and tortoise also said, yes, if there is another race, then this race we have to cross a river. So what happened? They started the race. Rabbit got to the river. He couldn't cross the river. He was waiting behind the river. Tortoise got there, and then he was able to do what? To cross the river. So what are we trying to do here? What it means is that when they had another third race, what happened is that because rabbit cannot cross the river, tortoise has to carry him on his back to cross the river so that they can all go. So what does this story tells you? This story tells that even in society, those who are poor and those who are rich, they all have a specific function to do, to play. Rabbit can run very fast but cannot cross the river. Tortoise can also cross the river, so he needs a help from rabbit. Rabbit needs a help from tortoise to be able to do what? To cross the river. And what happened? Because tortoise can also not run very fast, rabbit also has to carry him on his back so that they can do what? Run very fast. So in our workshop operations, senior technician, junior technician, technical master, although we all have a specific roles to play, we should all come together, one understanding, so that we move the workshop, so that we will have a very good productivity. And I hope these stories tells. I have more stories for you, but all I want from you is that do the great job. Anything at all you need, come to me, any support, and I'll give to you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.